So a couple of months ago, I decided to pick up this 98-inch Hisense TV. I did a whole video about it. I'll leave a link up over here. I was considering upgrading my sound system for a while because I really wanted Dolby Atmos. I did have it hooked up to a 5.1 surround system. I had a Denon AV receiver with Targa speakers. It was a 5.1 setup. It was really nice, but I always had this itch to upgrade to Dolby Atmos sound. And when my 12-year-old Denon amp decided to call it quits on me, I was considering either replacing the amp with the Atmos amp and changing some of my speaker setup, or going for a soundbar setup. And after doing some research, I kind of homed in on the Sonos Arc plus Era 300 and Sub setup. And in this video, we're going to be talking about my experience with the Sonos for now about a month and a half. For those of you guys who aren't aware of Sonos, they are a company that makes really high quality smart speakers. And one of the main advantages that they have over most of the other companies is their software stack, their app, and their integration with all the different sound service providers. My home theater system consists of three main elements. The Sonos Arc soundbar in the front. I have the Sonos Sub Mini, which provides the bass and it's the subwoofer. And then I have two Era 300s at my rear, which provide the surround sound effects. Now this system, together with all these different components, gives me a 7.1.4 setup. Means there's 7 virtual speakers around. So there's the center channel, the 2 front, the 2 sides, and the 2 rears. It's also got the 0.1, which is the subwoofer, and it's got the 0.4, which are 4 height channels, virtualized height channels created by the Era 300s at the back and the Sonos Arc in the front. So it is a spectacular setup. The sound quality is pretty phenomenal. First of all, let's talk about the unboxing experience of Sonos. I think in terms of speakers and things, they're the closest company that comes to Apple in terms of presentation and the feeling you get when you remove the device, the quality of the materials and all that. It is absolutely fantastic. The Sonos Arc, when you touch it, you can feel its weight and the quality of the materials, the plastics, the metals that they use. They're all really high quality. The buttons as well feel really nice, and it definitely feels like a premium product. So after unboxing all these things, the first thing I did was set up the Sonos Arc and just test it by itself. And now by itself, the Sonos Arc is capable of doing Dolby Atmos sound. It's got 11 speakers inside it, including 2 side-firing speakers and 2 top-firing speakers. So it gives you Dolby Atmos sound by bouncing the sound from the side channels across your walls and coming behind you, as well as from the top. Using the top-firing speakers, it gives you the height effects. So it's pretty nice. I did find the bass slightly lacking. I mean, for a soundbar, it's fantastic, but coming from a 5.1, sound setup with a dedicated bass woofer, I definitely felt the bass was a bit lacking over there, even though the sound quality of the dialogues and everything are fantastic. After that, I decided to add the Sub Mini and see how much of a difference that makes. And it makes a massive difference. Just having that sub over there means that all the bass responsibility is taken away from the Arc, and it sends all the bass to the subwoofer. The Sub Mini, I was wondering whether I needed to go for a Sub Mini or to get the larger Sonos Sub, which is significantly more expensive. It's double the price. It's almost like $800 just for the Sub alone. So the Sub Mini is around the $400 to $500 mark, and it sounds great. It's perfect for my room, +4 on my Sub Mini, and it sounds fantastic. Very happy with that combination of the Sonos Arc and the Sub Mini. It definitely elevates the sound of the Arc, and Sonos's computing in the background, all its audio processing and stuff happens within the Arc, and the Sub Mini automatically pair with each other over Wi-Fi, and everything works very smooth. Just those two alone, I would recommend that as a sound setup if you're looking for something in a medium-sized space. You don't care so much about rear sound effects and things like that, then that combination is really nice. Now the rears. The Era 300 is a very special kind of speaker because it is Sonos's first spatial speaker, which means that it's got actually different drivers inside it which fire in different directions. So there's a top firing, there's a side firing, and a single Sonos Arc speaker can give you Dolby Atmos music. Now there's a difference between Dolby Atmos from a movie and there's Dolby Atmos music. These are two different things. You put a pair of Era 300s, they give you even more spatial capabilities. But when you connect two Era 300s behind you and a Sonos Arc in front of you and a Sub Mini, what happens is it gives you really amazing spatial audio because the rear speakers are phenomenal. The effects that you get out of it, the way that the speaker is positioned, it's going to give you a side channel as well as a rear channel. So the Arc comes with the HDMI eARC input, which is really important if you want Dolby Atmos coming from your TV. If you use a regular Arc connection or a regular HDMI connection, you're not going to get that full audio quality. So if you really want Dolby Atmos, make sure your TV supports eARC. Watching movies on this thing is amazing. I've been watching all kinds of different movies and experiences on this setup, including 5.1 sound, Dolby Atmos sound. And when you have something in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos with this setup, it sounds amazing. Recently we've been watching Avatar the Airbender on Netflix, and the surround sound effects and the Dolby Atmos effects when things are flying over you or around you, you definitely feel that spatial sound. Playing Dolby audio is a different story. The thing is, most of the platforms currently, like Spotify, doesn't support Dolby Atmos audio. The only place that I was able to do it was through Apple Music. And in Apple Music, there is a playlist and there's quite a few songs and albums that have been converted into Dolby Atmos. And when you listen to a Dolby Atmos song, they can be either really well mixed or poorly mixed. So I've listened to a couple of poorly mixed Dolby Atmos versions. I actually prefer the stereo version. But when you listen to something that's mixed really well for Dolby Atmos sound, it sounds phenomenal. Like I would recommend checking out U2's Sounds of Surrender album. They're all covers of their most popular songs, and it just sounds amazing in Dolby Atmos. The app experience of Sonos is pretty amazing. Like, they have so many little features in there. Control your EQ, the sound, increase the spatial effects that are coming from the ceiling, or even to pair all these different devices. They're all individual wireless devices, but you can combine them into a home theater system through the app. And of course, Sonos allows you to add different speakers all over your house. So after buying this setup, I've actually got a couple of other Sonos speakers, which I will be reviewing soon as well in separate videos. Once you have those additional speakers, you can play music across your whole house. Also, the app is directly connected to all your music services like Spotify, Apple Music, whichever music service you like. They have inbuilt integration. So one of the most beautiful things about that is that you can play music or you can play a playlist and your phone is not occupied in playing the music. It's actually streaming directly to the device. So it's not like Bluetooth or AirPlay, where anything that you use your phone for, if there's a sound, it's going to come over the speakers. It's completely separate and it's not dependent on your phone at all to be playing the music. So that's a really nice feature of this setup as well. The Sonos Arc in itself has two really cool features which I think are really helpful. One is a dialogue enhance button where the surround audio will be reduced slightly and the dialogues will come up. I have that on all the time because I want crisp audio coming from the center channel and I want dialogue to be really clear. So that's a really good feature. And the second one is night mode, where if I'm playing video games or something at night and I don't want the bass and everything to be too loud and overpowering for people sleeping in the house, I put that on and it kind of levels everything out. And one thing I really like about the Sub Mini is that there is zero vibration coming from the actual subwoofer. Like, I've tested it with putting a glass of water on top of the subwoofer, and even at really, really loud volume, you won't see it shaking, which is really interesting because every other sub I've seen always has some vibration to it, which causes everything in the room to rattle, right? You don't really want that because it interferes with the sound. What you want is to feel the bass and hear the bass. It's got force cancelling, 2 subwoofers that really channel the sound and stop it from vibrating everything in your room, which also gives it really clean bass. So far, really thoroughly enjoying the whole sound experience. I would say just getting a Sonos Arc and the Sub Mini itself is going to be a pretty big upgrade for most people. It is an expensive setup. That setup is going to be close to $1,200 or something like that, but it will elevate your sound, especially if you don't have any dedicated speakers. This is one of the best sound bars that you can get right now, and the bass as well is amazing. But adding those Era 300s at the back just completely opens up the sound. And the best thing actually about the Sonos platform is the flexibility. You can just buy an Arc and get started with your home theater experience, and then add the subwoofer, a couple of months later. If you feel the bass is lacking, then you can buy some smaller speakers for your rear, like the Sonos ones, or if you want that full surround sound effect, you can get the Era 300s. And all this will work with all the other Sonos equipment that you have in the house. So I think that's where Sonos really excels. Their ecosystem is really well put together. All their speakers work together really well. You can connect that sub to other speakers in the house as well if you want. So, that's where the whole Sonos experience, the seamlessness of how all the speakers connect to each other, the wireless capabilities between them. I think that's where Sonos is ahead of everybody else. Anyway, guys, that's my experience with the Sonos Home Theater system. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to watch more videos. And I will be putting out a couple of more videos about some of the other cool Sonos equipment that I've got recently. All right. See you guys later. Bye.